for Khomeini, they stormed the embassy, fought the Marine Guards for 3 hours, overpowered them, and took dozens of American hostages. The students want the deposed Shah returned to Iran for trial.
United States Marine Corps guards used tear gas to try to disperse the mob of Islamic students. But that wasn't enough. Hundreds of Iranians finally overran the embassy compound, seizing about 90 people, mostly Americans. The hostages, men and women, were blindfolded and herded into the embassy's basement. No casualties were reported. The Iranians burned the United States flag and denounced the U.S. government, saying they would stay until the U.S. sends the deposed Shah back to Iran. Earlier today, the Ayatollah Khomeini publicly criticized the U.S. for providing refuge for the Shah. His speech was viewed as a signal by the Muslim students to attack the embassy. Iranian radio reported that the hostages were safe and being fed.
That was 46 years ago, and many Americans still remember that. It was a long, embarrassing 444 days where we all felt just terrible. We felt helpless. Iran had taken advantage of us and was showing the world how they had control over America, the big beast. And daily we would hear about how many days it had been since the hostages had been taken and how we were powerless to do anything about it. This is the image we saw daily coming from the news. Didn't matter which network it was. Every day it was announced how many days it had been since the hostages had been taken hostage. This went on for 444 days. We sent in, on the next clip here, a rescue group that just crashed in the Iranian desert. It was just a disaster.
Late yesterday, I canceled a carefully planned operation which was underway in Iran to position our rescue team for a later withdrawal of American hostages who've been held captive there since November 4th.
It was just a disaster. It wasn't until the middle of Reagan's literally getting inaugurated that they released the Iranians. They did that completely to embarrass Jimmy Carter. You know, move fast forward now to 1983, and you have the Beirut bombing of the Marine barracks, where 241 Marines, 14 Navy men, and 3 Army people were all killed. So yes, MTG, there is blood on Iranian hands, and yes, we do owe them their response.
We have a bulletin from the Pentagon on the explosion in Beirut at the U.S. Marines barracks. The Pentagon now estimates that 120, possibly more, 120 American Marines have been killed. 45 of the more critically wounded have been evacuated. Others remain to be evacuated later. Again,
I have to say that what Trump did this week, I think, was good. This was the weakest point the regime has been at since that point, since they took over in 1979. Personally, I'm glad we took the shot. I'm glad that we went in there and bombed to try to take out the nuclear. Whether we were fully successful or not, I really don't even think is the primary focus here. I think the fact that we responded, that we showed them who's boss, that we showed them that we're not going to just let this continue, really was a good thing for America and for the world to show that, you know, we do have a backbone and we're not going to tolerate this. And that Trump, who I have no love for Trump, believe me, but I think this was the right move. And I'm glad that he backed off and he doesn't want troops on the ground. And so far, everything's holding. So let's be glad about that. There's risks to no matter what the president decides, to do something, not to do something. You never know what the response is going to be from the other side. Thank God that the response was mild, and they actually called Trump and to tell him that that they were going to shoot some bombs at Qatar, and all that was handled. So the response has been mild so far, and the Ayatollah, who finally showed his face, looks very haggard, very old, very tired. And we don't know what's going to happen yet with the people, but let's hope that they uprise. But I do think that Trump did the right thing, and I think that history will bear that out. And I also hope that we can get Iran to the table and make it interesting enough for them to give up the idea of a nuclear bomb. The problem is, and I don't think that most people really understand what's underlying the whole Iranian psyche, is that they have a religious belief, a messianic belief, that they have to wipe out the Jews. This is a very specific part of Muslim, extremist Muslim theology, that they have to wipe out the Jews in order for the Messiah to come. And that's why they're so dead set on eliminating Israel. Because if they don't do that, then the end times won't come. So this is very messianic. It's not rational. And this is what we're fighting. So can we get them to give up the fight to destroy Israel? That's what I keep hearing from the political side. I don't really believe, as long as the mullahs are there, that this is a possibility. I don't think that that's going to happen. I just don't. And I think that that's why ultimately we're going to need regime change, because you're not going to get that done. I wish we could. I wish the mullahs were not as radical as they are. And it's time for the people of Iran to step up and get rid of them. It's, 46 years now? And this has got to happen, or I don't think that things are going to change much. Yes, we can reach an agreement on the nukes, maybe. I think that they do see how weak they are, and that they cannot continue like this. I also think that Putin could be in trouble with all this now. I think this has weakened Putin in a big, big way. And I think the big winner out of this, aside from hopefully America, is China. By weakening Iran and by weakening Putin, it puts China in a much stronger position. So let's pray for peace, and I'll see you the next time.